I'm thankful that he gave us the wisdom and the courage to adopt 4 kids, because otherwise I'm going to have my beautiful daughters here today.
I look ratchet.
And I just, but the thing is that God put them, and that was one of the things that I thought about this morning, because as a path, each one of us have a path, but my husband and I couldn't make up your DNA. And in order for you to get home, you had to come to us on a whole different path. And it was through different parents. And you had to go through something really horrible and to come home. Mm-hmm. But once you guys came home, it's like it never goes back. You went through that, but now it's turning things back to, this is really a beautiful thing. But knowing your worth, because you are not your past.
Well, and knowing that the past is what helps make you who you are in the present. Right. I would not take back any of the things that the traumatic events I've gone through, the horrible mistakes that I've made. I wouldn't take back anything that I've gone through or situations that I've experienced, because I'm actually very lucky to have made those mistakes, learned from those mistakes at the ages I did, and be the person I am at 25 today. I'm very, very thankful for that.
And those are the things that, once again, you take those experiences and you know that through it all, you have 100% successfully made it through every single mud puddle, every single mess, everything. Even if you put yourself in it, you made it through it. And I think
often you do put yourself.
Right. Well, absolutely.
Which people don't want to admit. Right. They don't want to admit that. They want to blame everything and everybody else. We sometimes it's just like, yep, I did this.
Right. Yep.
You have to own it.
Right. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Margie. Hi, Chad. Nice to have you guys here. So as we're doing this, knowing our self-worth and finding this out for ourselves, and like I said, I do believe that God created each one of us individually and uniquely. Mm-hmm. And, scripture tells us we were knit together in our mother's womb. And sometimes we were knit together like you were knit together in your mother's womb to become who you are today. And my daughter.
I think our souls were kind of knitted together.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. I love that. I really do. I think that we have a way of coming home. And I think it, I always said that, as a parent that adopted children, your bio parents gave you life, but we gave you wings. Mm-hmm. We were able to do that. And that is a blessing that not many people get to experience. And so we are blessed through that. But once again, it was the little ponytails that were bopping up and down in the window, and God
she
said,
loves to tell that story.
I do, because we had the boys, and it's just like I see these little ponytails, and all of a sudden it was like God said, hey, wait a minute, you need a girl. And then we ended up with 2 girls by the time we were finished, which is awesome. And so, but like I said, so as we're doing this, knowing your worth, but knowing that it's okay to be different. And as we're going through this and as we move forward with our lives, and all of our kids, we have 6 kids, everybody's taking different paths, but everybody's on a beautiful path for themselves, and they're figuring it out. And sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you have to let them do what they need to do. And like I said, for our advice, and we've always told our kids this, if you ask our opinion, we're going to give it to you. You take what you need, leave the rest behind. Otherwise, they can come back and say, but you said, and that's why we always say, no, this is yours. And you have to own your life. You have to own your decisions and where you're at. But I think in this world too, so what's it, Miranda? Your hair looks
I did it.
Yes, that was our project today with my hair. So, but like I said, thank you, Miranda. But as we go through, the one thing that I think is for the porch, and so as my kids, but from the porch, my job as the pastor, like I said, is to help you experience a connection with God yourself in your own unique way and in the way that you need to do it. I can't tell you what to believe or how to believe. I can take this scripture and I can come down and I can tell you, okay, so I can't find scriptures. But I can say, okay, so Romans 12:6 says, God has been kind to us. He's given each of us different gifts so we can serve him. I can tell you what it means to me, but it's going to mean something totally different to you. You have different backgrounds, you have different contexts, you have different experiences. And I believe that when we read the Bible, it's a living word of God. If we read it with an open heart, it's going to speak to us. If we read it with our brain, it's going to probably just not mean a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but like I said, for me, those words mean that each and every one of us experiences God's love for ourselves. And that's what I want. But to do that, we have to show. And for me, it's showing love, kindness, compassion, and grace. But that's all I want. I want that for you. I want that for everyone online. I want you to experience that love, that grace, that kindness. And I also want you to show it to everybody else around you. And I think that that's what God's asking us to do with the example of Jesus. That's why Jesus brought this earth, is to show us how to live. And he just didn't walk with the fancy dressed people. He didn't walk with them. He walked with everybody.
You have a hoodie and jeans on today.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is
Not fancy all the time.
Not fancy all the time, but that's what I'm saying. He didn't care, because this is you. To be comfy and cozy and whatever.
I think I have a little bit of everything in me.
But that's the beautiful
and
part.
that's okay. I don't think that, I get that a lot. It's a common misconception is, oh, she works here and dresses this way. She's this kind of person. Well, one, we should not judge someone.
Mm-hmm.
But two, there's so many things that make up who you are. So why is it that I'm only one thing, like one side of me that you're seeing? Why are you limiting to me just to
right? That's Miranda said, take responsibility for your own actions in your own way. You taking responsibility is also helping you with your self-worth, knowing that you matter, because if you didn't take responsibility for your actions, then who would care?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't care, what you do, your actions reflect off of everybody else. Or what you do reflects what other people think of you. And does it matter what other people think of you? I don't think so. I think you got to be good with you.
Well, I think, and taking responsibility too also means like learning how to control your reactions as well, because how we talked about feeling all your feelings is important, but also understanding how you react is just as important. Right?
And sometimes that is a lot of
there's
it.
A time and a place and a person, even you can't trust everybody. You can't, someone you talk to here and there isn't going to be somebody you run to and say, oh my gosh, this horrible thing just happened to me. Or something like that. So
and also knowing your audience. That is really important. Know your audience, because sometimes you have to know when to be silent, and you have to know when to speak up for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that
and when to speak up for yourself.
And when to speak up for yourself, that is really important. But like I said, knowing that you matter is speaking up for yourself, but it's also standing up for the people around you and the people that, if you see something, say something. When they say that, I think it's so important, because I think there's so much that just brings us down, and sometimes we shut down because we're so overwhelmed. So in the comments, I really want you guys to let me know, what is the one thing that brings you the most joy, knowing that you are okay? What is the one thing in the world that brings you the most joy and makes you feel okay, or maybe makes you feel important? For me, I was thinking about this. Two things as I was thinking this morning of what brings me joy is my grandkids coming in the door. They can't wait to give you the big hugs. Or when you get to actually have time to concentrate and spend time with your kids. Or standing on the top of a mountain watching the sunrise or set. Those are things that bring me joy. It's quiet time, it's peaceful time, it's people. And it's making people happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it's not about that, but it brings me joy making other people happy. It brings me joy and making like I said, as silly as it is.
Grandkids, people, so.
Yeah. Oh, yep. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. A clean home, Miranda said.
Yes.
Miranda says Emerald. Emerald is her daughter. That's what makes her happy. Brenda says my boys and grandkids and daughter-in-laws, her family, their family. And Mary Cruz, my nephews and my niece. And Miranda says Sean and a clean house. You can come over and help me out there, Miranda. That would be great. And my daughter-in-laws. There we go. And Kathy says her grandkids. What brings you joy? Because those are the things that when you are having a bad day, close your eyes and just remember those things. And maybe it's, my husband gets up every morning and what's so good about it? And, that's his first thing. He doesn't say good morning. What's so good about it? And I always say, I'm here. So, but the thing is that those silly little things. And so, Mary Chris says, looking at the picture of the wall of Gramps and I, knowing he's watching over me and he's proud of me. Absolutely. And even Mary Chris working at Toro, where her grandpa works. That is a cool connection and something that sometimes we do. Kathy says, good memories too bring joy. And that's the thing is good memories, any memories, take the best out of them. Be inspired by your past. Instead of having bringing you down, be inspired by what you have overcome. And Miranda said, he'll be over Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Make me a list, baby. You got it. We're going to have a clean house. Thank you, Miranda. Hi, Tina. It's nice having you here. So we are talking about knowing that you matter. Mira Cruz makes Miranda's heart happy. And Mira Cruz says, random 2-hour video chats with my sister. Those are absolutely important. They are. So as we're going through this, like I said, knowing that you matter, knowing that you are important is one of the most beautiful things in life. And so having somebody call and say, hey, just calling to check in on you, and not calling to complain, not calling to vent, not calling to give you news, just calling to say, hey, how are you? Or just calling to say hi. Or just calling to say hi. Those are important. And sometimes we get so busy, and I'm very bad with that because I was thinking about that today. You did the other one. Yeah. Just see my Snapchat story about that. And sometimes if you know that, I mean, but if you are reminded about that, and sometimes it takes.
Yeah, I think just in adult life, it gets overwhelming, and it does get difficult to keep those relationships up just because life is so busy. But also owning that as well and being like, hey, I'm sorry that I've been so busy. I've been thinking about you. I'm sorry I haven't reached out, but like, how are you doing? Right. What's new? It's once again taking responsibility. Right. The phone does go both ways, and like I said, understand that adulting is hard for all ages. Absolutely. Carol says, waking up happy, having great parent-teacher conferences. Yay, that's awesome. When parents are so happy that their child's progress, that they have tears, it makes your heart overflow with joy. Carol, I am so proud of you. I am so proud, and I'm so happy that you are in a place that your heart is happy. That is awesome. That is awesome.
And Tina said, it's hard to believe this in yourself. It is sometimes hard to believe in yourself. But I think that's where we all need work. Because it's hard to look in the mirror and say, I love you. It's hard to look in the mirror and say, you're beautiful. It's hard to look in the mirror and say, you're worthy.
You're not going to feel that every day. You know, even if you are the most confident person in the world and you're owning your truth, but you're going to have those days where you don't think that every day.
Right.
It's normal. You're not going to believe that every day.
But I think the more we say it, the more that we affirm that, the more that we look in the mirror and we say that, when you hear things, you're going to believe them more and more and more and more. And so I think that that's really important. And Lessa said, the lives like this is what brings me joy. Oh, Lessa, I love you. Thank you, thank you. And Miranda says, or to share good news. I love hearing my people good news. And that is that sharing the joys. And that's, one of the things is, do you always have prayer requests? Yep, we always have prayer requests. But maybe we just need to share our joys. And I always used to ask in church, where'd you see God this week? Where did you see the joy in your life this week? So, and Tina says, I always feel like I don't do enough. Well, Tina, I do believe you do enough. You're a teacher and you are enough. And so, but like I said, but those are legitimate things that we do feel. Mm-hmm. I always feel that I'm always a half a step back. That's what I feel. Because I'm not doing enough for my mom. I'm not doing enough for my sister. I'm not being there enough for my kids. I'm not being there enough for my grandkids. There's so many things pulling at us. We don't feel like we're enough. And even though, we're doing the best we can, we can't do it all with what we have, right? We can't do it all. And Carol said that you are right. She said, how many times did I sit in my car in the parking lot thinking about calling in sick? Yeah, bro. I mean, we've probably all been there.
Or like, you're at work and like you're trying to set yourself up for a sick day. And I really don't feel good. I have no idea what's going on. I must be the stomach bug.
Okay, so there you go. You can set yourself up for a sick day, Carol. Sometimes you just need that break. But it is knowing your self-worth. It needs you need a mental health day. You need a mental health day at times. But like I said, just knowing who you are and that you are worthy of living the life that you have. And it's exciting. And you might not have everything you want. That's the one thing, is that we always want more. Mm-hmm. And what if we were just satisfied with what we have and appreciated everything that we have, instead of wanting more and more and more and more? And if it's material things, especially, and I know I look around and I see the clutter and I see all of the stuff. You have something.
Be content with where you're at while working for what you want.
Be content with where you're at
while working for what you want.
Working for what you want.
I like that. Where you're at and what you want.
Yeah.
What did she say?
You're so sophisticated. But I do believe that.
On the phone a lot.
But I think that we need to do that. I think that we need to just be content with where we're at.
Working for what you want. Yeah. Embracing the whole path.
But also, I think you need to have dreams that are bigger than you could ever think you could achieve. Because
if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big.
I call them God-sized dreams. God-sized dreams. If you dream the things that you can achieve, they are not big enough. Mm-hmm. If God is the only one that can achieve them dreams, then they're big enough.
See, that's why those segment goals are important. They're realistic, they're achievable, but having that big dream at the end.
Isn't, for me, that's hard to dream that.
Oh, it's hard for me to dream that too.
And so
like I said, it changes every other day.
Mine too. Tina says, I love the hugs that I get from the students of all ages. Today I got over 58. I lost track. Oh my gosh, that's so many hugs. Hugs are magic. They really are. I mean, just like the one hug that you got in the Mark. That was a good hug. But you get some, I know some people that are just really good. They really are. And, hugs are important. So 58 of them, I am very jealous, So, yeah, you're doing a good job. And Carol says, never again. I missed Monday and my kiddos went crazy. It took me 20 minutes to put my room back together before teachers came to me. I had 3 students crying and wondering why I left them. I need to cut the umbilical cord.
No.
Well, that means, Miss Carol, that you are doing your job well. So if you have parents in tears because their student is doing so well, and you are part of that, kudos. I mean, come on, and we can't ask for anything better than that. That is awesome and beautiful all at the same time. So, but as we're kind of wrapping things up and kind of going through things, once again, I want you to know that we all have different ways of thinking, our own opinions, and it's okay. This is in everything in life. It's the way we do our relationships. We all have our different opinions on how they should be done and what they are. It's when we read the Bible, how we interpret what Scripture says. It's our relationships with God. But each and every one of us do things differently, and it is okay. And that is the thing. But that's, I think, what makes the world beautiful. Because we all did the same thing and believed the same thing and acted the same. It'd be boring. Because we'd probably be all listening to really loud music when I wanted it quiet.
But also, like, going back to how we started this, how someone else thinks, and if it doesn't have anything to do with you,
Right.
why do you care?
Right. And I think that is really important, though, that we,
to let go of that stuff.
right.
Or like, you don't need it.
No. And I think that that's a big part of it, is we do not need somebody else's chaos and somebody else's mess. We can hold their hand and we can say, hey,
But
I
also
hear
know
you.
when to step back, when
Right.
when it's affecting you, when you're, when another person is putting their pain, their whatever they're feeling on you, making it yours. That's when it's like,
You
okay.
can't take on somebody else's emotion. And you can't take
I'm
on
sorry
their
you're
pain.
going through this, but it can't work like that.
Right.
You
It's
know?
very, very, very true. Okay, let's see here. Awesome, Carol, Tina said, and politically so tired of the political hate. Miranda, this is one of the things that I always go back to. A few years ago on Facebook, there was this dress. I seen it gold and white.
Oh,
Everybody
talking about the dress.
Somebody else seen it black and blue. We were both looking at the same picture, but I look at politics right now in that same way. Our brains work differently, and it is okay. Just because we perceive things in one way does not mean we are right and you are wrong, or you are right and I am wrong. What it means is that our brains are perceiving things differently. We are coming from the back content, the things that we've learned, the experiences that we went through, and that is what's making us make the decisions that we have. So, and Brenda said, a friend said to don't get yourself all worked up for something that you have no control of. Isn't that true? And so a lot of times it is about that control. It is about allowing us to let go of the things and let go and let God, right? Let go of the things that we can't control, because if they're bigger than we are,
Let it go and let it be.
yeah. But if it's bigger than we are, but we try to take it on, all we're going to do is beat ourselves down. And I think that is really the serenity prayer really helped me. Yeah. Give me the strength. And I think that is a lot of times we have to go back to that. We have to go back to the things. What does give you strength? Where do you find the strength in our things? And so was Deb the friend? Because she told me that a few days ago, Brenda. When you said a friend told you that to get yourself all worked up about something you can't control. And Tina has the serenity prayer tattooed on her forearm. That is awesome. That is awesome. And we need reminders. We need reminders. I know I have a tattoo here on my arm as a reminder that life is precious. And yeah. And so we have, we buried, here we go. Where are we at? There we go. It's hard to find that.
Hey, you have to look there. You have to show that. No, turn it.
It's so hard. Anyway, camera's there, whatever. But it's about life being precious, and sometimes those things we need reminders. And whether it's tattooed on your forearm, it's written on your mirror in the bathroom, it's just on a picture on the wall. Do something to remind yourself, first of all, that you are worthy of this life that you're living. You're worthy of love. You are worthy of kindness and grace. You are worthy of absolutely every blessing that you have in your life. And a lot of times, we look around and it's like, I can't believe what we have. I do that a lot. I can't believe we are at where we're at when we started out where we did. And, and I just, sometimes it's really hard to comprehend the fact that God has blessed us with so much. We have a house, we have an RV, we have this, we have that, everybody, all of the things, but he's giving us the tools that we need to continue to do the ministry that he's put on our hearts. And so that's for us. And so before we wrap up here, I do want to, first of all, thank you. Veronica was very nervous for coming on tonight, but thank you for being part of this, because I think this shows, generation to generation, we all experience the same emotions.
Everything differently, but also different.
No,
or me and Brenda aren't that different. We have a lot of the same thoughts and embrace, surround yourself with those kind of people, whether, even if they are your family, friends, others, co-workers, choose the people who choose you.
I like that. There you go.
100%.
There you go. Sticky notes are great to put around. Sticky note therapy is my favorite.
At work. I started the girls on that at work.
Did you?
Yeah. Yep. I think we've had the same sticky note when I started working at Michael Kors. I took a little pink sticky note and I wrote "You're so beautiful" and hung it in the bathroom, and it's still there.
So maybe that's a challenge for everybody. Yeah. Start putting sticky notes up. Thanks, Tina, for that, because sticky notes are important. And I think that as we go through our lives and as we do things, I just think it's really important for us to understand that it's okay to be different. It's okay to be weird. It's okay to be sad or mad or angry. It's okay. And it's okay to say, I'm beautiful, and it is not pain.
No.
It is okay to look in the mirror.
And just because you don't feel that way about yourself and somebody else doesn't mean that you should bring them down either.
Right.
If somebody is there and they do feel good about themselves, they do feel confident, they're okay with the kind of person that they are, don't bring them down for that because you don't feel that about yourself. That's not okay.
Right. Miranda said you did great, Veronica Burkhalter, and you look beautiful. But like I said, as we go through it, so with that, don't bring them down with you. I like that. But also, if somebody walks in the room and they are confident and they're holding their head high, their shoulders back, when we are not confident, we think they're cocky.
Yeah.
We think that they're vain. We think that they're, who do they think they are? Well, they know who they are.
And you don't know their journey. You don't know how
they're inside. You
don't know what it took for
walking.
them to finally feel that way about themselves. You have no idea of that, so you keep it to yourself.
But once again, it's the judgment of that. But if somebody's walking in with confidence, does not mean that that's what they feel on the inside.
And if anything, if you want to feel that way, walk up to them and be like, "Hey, can you help me with this?
Right.
What do I need to do? What do I want to feel like that."
Right. And I think
clearly you need some sort of inspiration. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. No, I think it's wonderful. But like I said, once